Alright, today we're going early morning here to pick up the container and start the container. Alright guys, so here it was that we got the container arriving on the tilt deck 40 foot, and I ended up cutting my leg that day, so I was kind of out of the picture hopping around. But the tractor slid it off on these casters, and we placed it in the warehouse to where we were ready to start working on it. Took a little bit for the tractor to pull it, but overall we got it in there, and I had a kitchen to put in, so we set it up to get some dimensions. It's gonna look pretty good in there. It's gonna be a tight big fit kitchen, but we'll keep you updated. Here's the time lapse of cutting out some window openings. We did 48 by 65 inch windows, and it barely landed on each of those sides of the container, so we could get it flush up with the framing. And it takes a bit of grinding and a lot of grinding wheels, and wear a respirator and some good welding goggles without the shading. It's always good to have music, and watch out cutting these things out. It almost took me down with the cord here, as you can see. Should have let go of that grinder, but I didn't. These pieces of metal are sharp, so if you're on a ladder and that thing catches your leg, it's not going to look so good. But anyways, just continue grinding. Bam! Now this is for the exact size window at the same spots, so they all look flush around the top of the container. And the sliding glass doors will meet up at that 96-inch mark. Now my angle grinder, I had some old discs, so it took me a long time here, and I cut it with a hand angle grinder instead of this chop saw after, because I couldn't get through the 2.5 inch. So when I met these corners up, they did not meet straight and square. We had to cut it apart and redo it, but you'll see later on that we did make it work. All right, there's the frame. I got all the cuts right, all the levels right. One's 2.5 and one's 2, so that was a toughie. It was definitely tough, but I got it. Weld up. Out of 120-foot stick, there was no room for air. That's all I had left over. So after I got it all welded up and the frames were made, I painted them up so they didn't rust any further. We're going with bronze windows. All right, so it's reversed. I gotta push it from the inside out, and of course here you can see it's not not square at all, but it fits. So later that day we
Got
cut it
this window
apart
frame
and
welded up and painted.
fixed that one up.
I'm gonna stick it in
Again,
there.
this one on this back corrugation, I used 1/4 inch steel, 2.5 by 2 inch. So definitely need 10 clamps or so to get that fitted.
Yeah.
Are we buying it up on that? I got mouth. Now this step I wouldn't recommend. This is when we had to cut it apart and refit everything.
Fits now.
But it worked.
It did, right? It worked.
Now,
Alright, so after all night working, we got the window fitted. And we got to seal them up. And there's more to come for the sliders. We're doing 2 on that side.